Hey, we're here to do our Art is Not Fashion Part 2, Intro to Color Analysis.
My name is Preetika Muthaluri, and we
And
have,
Deani Washington.
let's get into it.
First thing first is our color story and what we gained through learning our color analysis personal palettes. We are winters. My seasonal specific palette is now what is it like personal color? I am a true winter.
I am a dark winter.
And in learning our personal colors, we were able to style some cool outfits to in our travels and also to our events that we went to during the summer. At the beach, you'll see at a dinner that you'll see here with us wearing black and white, and then us on an outing with pink and red and white.
Yes. So, color analysis took us to many places. We went to Orlando
Mm-hmm.
as people passionate about colors and being creative. What started off as an idea to combine self-love and sustainability turned into color analysis and our color story.
So, first things first, the origins of color analysis. So, color theory is a body of knowledge that describes different ways colors work through color harmony, color contrast, color meaning, and even color schemes. The another expression of this is Susan Kegel's personal framework on how color can be personalized for different people. So Susan Kegel's originated the whole concept of color analysis for the individual, beginning in 1942. After working for years with color and style as a milliner and designer, that's a typo, guys. So, but mainly as a designer, she experienced a revelation about the relationship between a person's natural coloration as seen in the pigments in their skin, hair, and eyes, and the color of nature. So when you go back to our last slide with color story, you'll see the beach and how the beach contrasts against the black in my skirt. That is because the seasonal palette that are in summer is more beachy, it's a lot of muted colors versus winter, it's very clear, it's very saturated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very ishy. Summer colors are very
Mm-hmm.
ishy, which is what we talked about at the beach. It's muted. It's not as dark and defined.
Mm-hmm. And another layer of color analysis is Carol Jackson's business, the founder of Color Me Beautiful. She came up with the color analysis system that became popular via social media, TikTok, you'll hear a lot about, originally in the 80s. So the concept of the seasonal palettes became a business through Carol Jackson. And the original concept of personal color came through Susan Kegel's work.
Mm.
That makes sense.
And now let's talk about where it all starts. Technically, color theory and undertones. I'm sure you've heard the word color theory and you know quite a bit about it. One thing that is very important is temperature. If when you look at a color, is it warm or is it cool? What do we mean by warm or cool? Warm is closer to red, yellow, orange, while cool is more close to blue, green, or purple. So when you look at a color, do you see more yellow, red, or do you see more blue, green in the undertone of it? So that doesn't mean that colors can be divided into warm or cool. Any color can be warm or cool. So as you can see, there's yellow and there's blue right here. If we look at the yellow, the one on the left is more cool because it has a blue undertone to it, while the one on the right is more warm because it has more yellow underneath. And neutral colors are formed by combining warm and cool.
That is correct.
And now we're going to talk about HVC, which is also a very important term that you would have to remember if you were learning color analysis. So H stands for hue, the color family of an object. So you're looking at me, I'm wearing black. That's the color family. There's lighter black, there's darker black, there's muted black, there's different types of black. And that is also what we're talking about is the temperature of that hue. Is it warm or is it cool? So whenever you look at a color, is it more close to blue or is it more close to red or yellow? Value, V stands for value, which is the depth. So you add white or dark to it, white or black to it. So when you add some white to it, it becomes lighter. So if you added more white to this, it will become gray. That means this is a really light black, but this is a pretty medium black, I would say, or even close to a dark black. Now, C stands for chroma, which is saturation, which is how close it is it to gray. We were talking about the summer colors. They're really close to gray. They're really ishy. You can see from the red right here, it's muted as we add more gray to it. And as you imagine and visualize adding gray to a color, it'll make more sense. And we'll talk more about HVC in a second.
Yes, we are. So something to ponder is what emotions comes when you see this splotch of paint. It may be anger, it may be intensity, it may be boldness. You may think about your cycle. So it was a variety of answers in the room when we shared this question. And things like this is usually used for marketing to share a message, then in paintings to express a mood, and in branding to create associations. Hence, McDonald's, you think about the red and golden arches. Burger King, Wendy's, all those different colors and symbols shown over and over again to help you recognize a certain feeling or association of the thing you think about. So, how is this connected to color theory and the artist? Color is often used in expressionism, an art form that is used to express the artist's inner world, such as thoughts and emotions. The connection between mood, emotion, and color has a nonverbal origin. So, which can often mean that a response or reaction to artwork is typically personal. Mood and emotion are two different tools an artist can refer to in creating. So, emotion is psychological and can have feelings that coming up, like butterflies in your belly when you see the person you like, or the tension in your throat when you have something important to say. That is emotions and like the physicalness of it manifesting in the body. So while mood is connected to time periods and roles, and that is connected to emotion, like nostalgia. And so what you see here is Van Gogh's artwork. He uses a lot of blues, yellows, whites to send a message. Usually blues are associated with sadness and like loneliness. And during this time, Van Gogh experienced a lot of mental health disorders and things of that nature. So, in his expression of art, you can see that theme with the colors he used. So, can color be a tool to evoke emotions? The answer in the room when we first shared this was a big yes. The magic of color. So, color frequency. Color is a vibration of light, and light is a form of heat. Color perception is the biology of how the human eye can see color. So there's just certain things we're not able to see. However, certain colors we can see because of how our eyes have evolved through time. So high energy colors are usually purple, pink, and blue. They can be gamma rays or X rays. Low energy colors are usually red, orange, and yellow. And these show up as radio waves or infrared waves. Okay. So colors in the subconscious mind. Color enters the psyche and is subconsciously filtered into immediate reactions on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So when we saw the red blotch of paint and all different images came to our mind, that is color speaking to the subconscious. Chromotherapy, as in a word, is a form of color therapy, has been used to treat modern skin conditions and also recommended by chromotherapy practitioners to help with depression and seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD, anxiety, and more.
Now, I wanted to mention this because this was more the most fascinating fact that I learned about. Color theory was originally curated because artists and expressionists wanted to use a palette to describe a season and determine what colors are associated with each season. As you can see, winter has a lot of cool colors in it. Winter, we have spring, where we see a lot of bright, warm spring colors. We have autumn, where we see a lot of orange, autumn, dusty, browns,
Mm-hmm.
and we have the four seasons. So this is how the seasonal color analysis was developed. And whenever you look at a color analysis framework, it's usually going to be four main seasons, which there's a number of ways you can split that into subseasons.
Yes, subseasons.
So let's talk about seasonal color analysis. As Vianney mentioned, it is determined based on the skin tone, undertones, your eye color, and your hair. And you never guess anyone's season. So when you go into a color analysis studio, they look at your HVC, which is your hue, value, and chroma, and what your color palette is based on your natural features.
Yes.
And determine your four main seasons.
Yes. And with the HBC being determined, the dominant characteristics of a person can better be understood to kind of give an idea on what your sub season will be and what your seasonal palette will be. So if a person comes in and they have the HBC and of their HBC is dark, then it's likely that there can be a dark autumn or a dark winter, depending on their undertone. And that's part of the HBC understanding.
Mm-hmm. So you'll hear this term dominant characteristics a lot, which is when you walk in a room, what pops out? When you look at a person, what pops out? Are they more dark? Are they more clear? Or do you just not see anything? Are they muted? So that's how, using HVC, we have six characteristics. So we look at the hue, the temperature of a color. Is it cool or warm? We have value. Is it dark or light? We have chroma. Is it bright or is it muted? And these are the six characteristics that form the foundation of a color analysis. And now it's time for you to guess based on what you've learned. So we'll be using this example on the left. So when you look at this orange, orangey shirt, does it look warm or cool to you? Does it look light or dark to you? Does it look clear or muted? Um, we recommend you pause if you need a moment, and we have an answer on the next slide. Mm-hmm. So as you can see, it is a warm color because you can see the undertones are more orangey, more yellow. It's not dark, it's not light, it's somewhere in the middle. And is it clear or is it muted? You can't really say. Whereas the one on the right, you could clearly tell it that it's a clear color. It's a crisp blue. But the
Mhm.
orange, not so much.
The Color Analysis Philosophy by Susan Kegel. She says color can play an important role in attuning the human system in a harmonious way so that authentic personality results. And this is a big deal because there's always conversation on who am I, what is my authentic self, that type of finding who you are kind of conversation. And with the tool of color analysis, it's a tool to turn up the dial in the sense of seeing clearly who you are through color. So, because certain colors naturally harmonize with your natural features, it can amplify your authentic self and help you to see more of yourself and what's authentic to you. So Susan's mission was to lead you to the source of all color, nature, all colors you can find in nature, in order to create self inspiration. And that's self art, like Van Gogh did, like Pablo Picasso, becoming your own artist in the art form. So the cherry on top is our eco fashion framework. And the first step is understanding your dominant characteristics with the tool of color analysis. You already understand how HBC works and how when you see a person, do you see their warmth or their coolness? Do you see their light or their darkness? Do you see their clear or mutedness? This describes the main visual trait of a person, such as the dominant light or dark, soft or clear chroma, what stands out. So think about those things when you are shopping, whether the clothing and the color has these traits. You want to also think about style and storytelling and maybe even the astrology, depending on where you're at in your understanding of it. This relates to an aesthetic, personal storytelling through your fashion pieces like cottagecore, gothic, baddie, Y2K grunge, or even method dressing like La Roche does with Zendaya to embody a character. Sides, capsule, wardrobe, pieces, okay? Building a capsule wardrobe is a term coined by Susie Fox in the 1970s, and it's a practice of purchasing fewer clothes with higher quality. How many times can I wear this thing?
And we have two more. So these are the five things that you can think about on your fingers when you're purchasing something, when you're thinking about your own style, or even looking at your own closet, and if you're trying to get rid of clothes.
Mhm.
Body shape, silhouettes that complement the figure. This is a big thing that comes as a part of styling someone or designing anything. So your clothes don't wear you, you're wearing the clothes. So it's important to analyze and know yourself in a way where you can tell what your body shape is and where you want the person who's looking at you to look at. What's the focal point? Do you want your waist to be the focal point? Are your shoulders wider than your hips? Are your hips wider than your shoulder? So creating a frame for the body so that it looks visually pleasing to the eye and there's a look of balance. And this matters because it's a part of curating that style, curating that, putting effort into yourself using colors and silhouettes. And lastly, we have fiber. Um, I know a lot of people love thrifting and we love secondhand pieces. One
Mhm.
thing to think about is the natural fiber because we care about sustainability and we know that polyester doesn't decompose for decades. So, natural fiber clothing pieces are made of cotton wool, natural fabrics, and you could research all this information can be found on the internet and you can find the material that your clothing is made of on the garment. So take a minute to look at that and buy secondhand pieces so it reduces the carbon footprint on the planet, and it also extends their life if they're made of good material.
Mhm.
And with that, we have come to the end.
Mhm.
Thank you for listening to Art is Not Fashion. Um, do make sure to follow us on Instagram if you did like what we talked about. And if you have any questions, comment, DM us. You know where to find us. Do you have any final words?
Yes, art is not fashion. Fashion is a business. Art is something you do, and dressing yourself every day can become that art piece. It's the canvas you get to paint every day out of joy. And so we pray that we've given you the tools to be more intentional about your paintings and expressing and showing up in the world through the lens of self-love and art.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Oh, how do I stop it?
All right. Stop shares. Stop recording. Okay, guys.